In this video, we're going to work with the date difference. This will take a date and subtract it from another date and then return either the number of days, the number of months, or the number of years between those two dates. It is a function that is incorporated to provide compatibility with older and different spreadsheets. So as you type it, equal date DIF, you will notice that it does not show up in the tooltips. It shows up now that I've hit the parenthesis, but it doesn't know the arguments. The arguments will take the older date. In this instance, it will be B4, and then comma. So the arguments are basically three. The older date is the first argument. The second argument is the newer date. And the third argument is how do I want my date or my answer represented. And so here we're going to take the older date, which is B6, comma, with the newer date, which is kind of newer. And then we're going to make this absolute because we're going to copy it. And then we'll do comma. And then we needed to determine what we want the output. We could do months, we could do days, we can do years. And we're going to do days, so we'll do double quotes, D, double quote. And then we close the parenthesis. If you want months, you do double quote, M, double quote. If you want years, you do double quote, Y, double quote. And then we can just hit enter, and that tells us how many days we are different from January 10th, 2018 and May 10th, 2018. So I can just copy these down. And if I wanted to, I could change this date to, let's use the today date. So today function, which will return today's date, which is September 18th, 2023. And you can see between these two dates, it's 2,077 days. So if I click on that, I could change this to Y for years. And then I could just copy that down. So they're all pretty much 5 years. If we want to see months, I can change the Y to months and hit enter. And then just, again, 68, 66, they're mostly the same month. So you could actually use this by if you wanted to determine the age or the number of months that someone is. So let's say you have someone who was born October 31st, and let's say 1999. You do want to include the full 4-digit date. So I want to see how many months, years, or days that they are between these when they were born in 1999 and today's date. So we'll do equal date diff. We take the year that's in question, comma, the current year or the current date, comma, and we want to know how many years that is. And we can hit enter. So it's 23 years. We could change this to 1980, and the person's 42 years old. If we wanted to find out how many months that person was, we could change the Y to M and hit enter. 514 months. So you have some different options. You have to use cell references. You can't just enter the date. You have to use cell references for this to work. So that's using the date diff. The date diff will take a date in question and subtract it from a current date, and then we'll display the number of days if you use double quote D, number of months, double quote M, number of years, double quote Y. And that is using the date diff.